This is Henares making your day with part 3 of the Philippine history that I wrote. Chapter, The Age of Discovery. Now the Chinese were the first link in the spice route to Europe. Chinese junks brought the spices from Southeast Asia to India and from thence by Arab caravans and small ships called dhows to the Levant, which is the coastland of Asia Minor and Syria, including the coastline of Greece and Egypt. The gateway to the European trade centered in the Mediterranean port of Venice, because the Venetians and the Arabs were rolling in vast profits of the Oriental trade. European nations, particularly Spain and Portugal, set out to find the sea lanes to the Orient. Portugal made it around the Cape of Good Hope at the southern tip of Africa and found a way east to the Orient. Christopher Columbus of Spain, after whom Nora Honor's first husband was named, went west in theory that the world was round, but never got to prove it because his journey was interrupted by the enormous mass of the two American continents, North and South America. The Spanish found gold and silver in Mexico and in Peru and shipped vast quantities back to Spain, which caused the wildest kind of inflation and the introduction of several new forms of life to Europe, among them corn, tobacco, and spirochetes syphilis. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese after whom Imelda's husband was named, offered to King Charles I, after whom the brandy Carlos I was named, of Spain, his considerable skills as a navigator in finding a western route to the Orient and its spices, because he thought the Portuguese were a bit too kuripot. The banker family, the Fuggers of Germany, even offered to finance his expedition for concessions, because it was the only way they could collect what that Balasubas, Charles I, owed them. More about this after these messages. This is Henares making your day with part 3 of Philippine history. Chapter, The Age of Discovery. 5 ships and 237 men sailed west on September the 20th, 1519, rounded the Cape Horn at the southern tip of South America, crossed the Pacific and landed in Samar on March 16, 1521. Magellan was hospitably received and directed to the thriving port of Cebu, where he was not only able to replenish his supplies but also convert Chief Humabon to Christianity. He was also informed that the chief of the neighboring island of Mactan, named Lapu-Lapu, did not think very much of King Charles, or for that matter, Christianity either. Instead of quitting while he was ahead, Magellan sailed over and idiotically demanded that Lapu-Lapu acknowledge the King Charles as his lord and master. Whereupon Lapu-Lapu, quite sensibly, killed him. The defeated Spaniards retreated and limped home on one ship, the Victoria, with a crew of 18 via Mindanao, Sulu, and Timor, and completed the first circumnavigation of the world. Arriving in Spain on September 6, 1522, they incidentally discovered that they lost a Wednesday, en route to the west, proving the necessity of an international dateline. For the next 45 years, Spanish interest in the Philippines was sporadic. The Pope had drawn the line between Portuguese and Spanish spheres of influence in the Atlantic, and by the Treaty of Saragossa in 1529 governing the Pacific, Spain relinquished all rights to the Moluccas in favor of Portugal. And actually, the Philippines was west of the line in the Portuguese territory, but nobody knew that. The reality was that Spain in 1564 sent from Mexico a colonial expedition under Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. Legazpi landed in Cebu in 1565, moved to Panay, and from there to Manila in 1571. There, Legazpi ousted the Muslims under Chief Suleiman, who beat a stout retreat to western Mindanao and Sulu Archipelago, where they hold forth up to this day as doughty and as dogged a group of warriors has ever lugged a spear for Mohammed. It may be said that the Philippines was Islamized twice, directly by Arab and Indian traders and indirectly by Catholic Spain. For Spain colonized us for 350 years, but Spain was colonized by the Muslim Moors for 800 years before that, leaving their indelible mark on Mother Spain. That is why our Muslim brothers in Mindanao were called Moros in tribute to the Moors who colonized Spain long, long before. More tomorrow, my dear friends. This is Larry Henares, making your day, saying good day, God bless you. Thank you very much for being with us. Till next time, hasta la bye-bye.